I know what a weeaboo is. I even know what a waifu is because of Arby's.
The Twitter account, or did they do something else?
Oh God.
No, I just read on some website like Arby's has got an Arby waifu now, and it's another sign that we all live in hell. And I was like, yeah, that's Ken's.
I remember when brands were just about advertising themselves.
Adam, don't you now want to go just like mow down on some Arby's because they're saying words that are part of cultures that you like?
No more so than I already would have.
Are there Arby's in Canada?
Yes.
Yeah. Not that many. Or at least not in my town.
Anywhere there's sadness, generally like just abandoned highway sadness, that's where you're going to find an Arby's.
There's a lot of sadness in Canada.
Oh, everywhere. It's the style of the time. Anyways, are we recording? What happened?
We're recording.
Oh, hi everyone. Coriander's going to introduce the show now.
Welcome to GREEDWATCH2018.
She did it.
Kamen Rider O's recap podcast. My name's Coriander Dickinson. I've got with me Josh A. Kagan.
Hey everyone. We're doing this.
And Adam Wasserman.
Hi, everybody.
This is episode 14, Pride, Surgery, Secrets.
It's been a very long week between episodes.
Yeah. I've watched this episode 4 times now in my life.
Just to do research for the show, or like...
No, once I watched it for fun. Then I watched it twice for the show. Then I watched it a third time for the show because it had been a month and I wanted to remember what happened and not just rely on my notes. So I watched it at double speed and it was actually pretty crazy.
You destroyed the illusion. I was just making a very vague reference to it being a long week between episodes, but in fact, I had to fuck off for an entire month. But you don't need to know that, gentle listener.
Stop breaking the fourth wall.
But you started it.
I don't think I did. I didn't address the audience.
You put in that initial... Wait, are we supposed to pretend like nobody's listening? Oh, no.
No, we're supposed to pretend that somebody's listening.
That's not pretending. No.
There are plenty of people listening to... I mean, technically 3 as we're hearing each other.
I can guarantee that we have at least one listener because I know him personally.
And that person's name is Adam Wasserman.
No, okay, 2 then. I do listen to this podcast.
Is it the us version of Adam Wasserman? Are you standing in your own driveway with the spooky mask?
Don't spoil me for Us.
Oh, I want to see Us. I was thinking about it today because I was thinking about Get Out, and then I remembered that Us is coming, and now I want to see Us.
And I didn't watch any trailers because I didn't want any spoilers, Joshua.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I ruined a thing.
I forget.
Also, by the time this comes out, the movie will have come and gone.
That doesn't stop me from getting spoiled.
No, but that's future. Only future you's been spoiled, Adam. You, like 2 months from now, you've already seen the movie, and so you can't be spoiled because this is 2 months from now.
That's not how time works.
It kind of is. This isn't now. This is then now.
Yeah, we all know about the murder dance on the boat and all of the
exactly.
5 hatchets the one guy has.
The pinata full of thumbs.
That's all Arby's has been talking about.
And grab bags full of fingernails. Come on.
I love it. Arby's new pinata full of thumbs burger.
Get that cheese sauce.
Contains no cheese.
Did anybody watch episode 14 of Kamen Rider O's?
Well, let me tell you. Detective, totally in surgery, but everything's gonna be fine.
Well, we don't, I mean, Then Now knows us, but us now, we don't know that for sure. It's not looking good for Detective.
Yeah, Hina's got some questions about his state of being, and they're like, it's fine, and then they pull out the defibrillator.
Yeah, it's all very serious. There's not even like that much music, and it's like, let's cut his shirt open and let's just like they're putting lights in his eyes and stuff, and it's just not looking great. And so our dear beloved underpants hobo is like, I gotta go find Ankh. I gotta find some greeds. I gotta take care of this. I gotta do some superhero stuff. And then he says probably my favorite line in the series up until this point. I might be skipping around a little, but in telling Hina, you hang out here, he says something along the lines of having someone dear by their side gives them power. And then he takes a beat to think about that and says, this is pretty true.
Yep.
This is my new favorite qualifier for any advice or any statement that I make. Hey, when's the bus going to get here? I'll probably be here in about 10 minutes. This is pretty true. Where will you guys use this is pretty true in your everyday conversation?
Ooh. I love you. This is pretty true.
This is pretty true. Yes, this is why you don't work for Hallmark.
I mean, that's one of the reasons.
Nope, that's it.
That's all that's stopping me?
Well, that and you smash all precious memories on sight. Like,
They don't deserve those memories.
This is pretty true.
mhm.
Also, Dr. Heart Attack is having a heart attack.
It's not going great for him. It's not health-wise. We are not doing great with our characters. Dead Detective, not looking good. Dr. Heart Attack. Maybe these guys just need to find new names.
Maybe. Anyway, Dr. Heart Attack, having had a heart attack, is being wheeled down the hall where he bumps into AG, and he's like, wait, no, tell me what's going on. Why did my daughter turn into a scalpel monster?
And we see a fantastic flashback with her just delightfully ripping off Nightmare on Elm Street, with her metal claws scratching against a plaster wall, but still generating sparks somehow.
Oh yeah, that's how you know it's powerful.
Plaster, always one of my favorite conductors of electricity.
Listen, sparks are very important in Kamen Rider, okay?
And AG explains patiently, oh, well, it's a monster created of her own desires. Which the doctor is like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that scans. I'm gonna go have a heart attack now.
And then opening credits. And then AG's like, oh, that makes sense. I understand now. Pfft. What's the opposite of dramatic irony?
It's just
Like dramatic withholding.
It's just dramatic no.
Okay.
It's blocking. It's called blocking.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, now AG has to run off and buy every can he can find.
Yeah, he was running up to that ride vendor, and I'm like, you don't know where you're going. Why would a bicycle help? And then I remembered they're actually vending machines.
You know,
Yeah.
you and me both, Corey. He kept feeding quarters, or my mistake, everyone, cell metals into it, and I was like, oh no, he's just buying Cokes. He's not the poor dope. He's at an RC cola machine, like, and then I remembered. All right, all the cans is bots, and he sends a bunch of bots to some murder hawks, some octopi,
Some eels.
some eels. They're going out. It's the Twilight Bark. They're looking for their buddy, Mr. Arms.
Do you think that when he spends like all of his cell metals on cans, does Kogami count that as part of like the 60%, or does he take that on top of it?
It's on top.
Wow, Ank's gonna be real pissed off when he finds out AG spent all their metals on cans.
But he had to. How else was he going to find him?
It's like he sent him off to sell a cow, and he ended up with magic beans.
The guy who plays AG would make a absolutely fantastic Jack.
It's so true.
Okay. And that's it. And then it's the end of the episode, everyone. Good night.
Doctors are baffled by Detective's condition.
Yeah, he's just not doing very well. He continues to not do well. And the doctors are like, usually our patients are so healthy. Like, I'm not sure why they're so stunned that this dying man is dying.
What's he doing in a hospital? That's weird.
That's weird. Shouldn't he just be fuck off in an alley somewhere? If I remember correctly, every bone in his body was broken, right? Like we have to go back.
Yes.
It's
Maybe.
yeah.
And he's in a coma, and
He has some real non-specific injuries.
his heart has already failed once this episode.
Yeah, they got to bring out the paddles. So he's not doing great. Also not doing great. Ankh isn't doing particularly well. He's just being an arm by the one bench he hangs out at, where he either gets pelted by children who think he's like a monster serpent, or a very friendly and really adorable corgi.
Hell yeah.
And I'm real sad we didn't get to see that fight play out, because I could have really dealt with a corgi just handing Ankh's ass to him. I guess not his ass, but his palm or whatever.
It's non-specific.
His elbow.
He's only got like one body part,
It's true.
but I don't know where it ends.
It's like lower wrist. I would. Oh no, maybe not even. Maybe past the wrist.
Right?
I don't.
Yeah.
What do you call the part of the arm between the wrist and the
Forearm.
elbow?
No,
Guess.
no, there's only one of them.
Oh, dang.
We're doing great, everyone.
Anyway, Gonk goes up into a tree.
He loves hanging out in trees, that guy.
Basically, he was having a nap on this bench, all passed out, snoring, and then this corgi got all up in his face.
Mhm.
And then a lady saved the corgi from him, or vice versa, and then he decided to sulk in his tree.
P.S.
Yep.
That lady, very concerned about her dog. And as a dog owner, I understand being concerned about a dog. But I also feel like as a dog owner, pretty devoted to my dog. If my dog were barking at a floating sentient arm, I would take half a minute to be like, ah, and then I would run away.
I mean, she seemed pretty upset.
She seemed more upset about the dog than she did about the floating arm, and you'd think she would at least have a line of dialogue like, "Oh, a floating arm! How odd! How terrifying! I've just peed every part of myself. I have to go."
Maybe she's seen worse.
We don't know her life.
First of all, I would like to apologize to that woman. She did not live up to my standards of someone who sees a disembodied sentient arm attacking their dog, and I have to understand that other people's experiences are not my own. Thank you.
What if that arm is like real sassy and just like
Well, it'd be
throwing shade on your dog?
Oh, I want that so much now. I want the RuPaul's version of Ankh.
Maybe at some point in the previous several years, she got turned into like some kind of food or a statue or something. That's entirely possible.
And I guess I have to keep reminding myself that everybody's just used to creepy crawly things and monsters, and
Mhm.
in this particular part of town, it's just monsters and things. And that's just what we live with day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Just like real life, guys.
Kogami's wearing his power yellow.
He looks like he's either about to tell us about the wide world of sports or sell us a house. It's a very specific shade of yellow. Is he different I don't know why. Maybe it's also because I haven't watched this show in quote unquote a week. Did he like shave or get a haircut or something?
Looks like a fresh haircut.
I think he's also like less angry at Goto than last week. So maybe that's part of it. He's a little more chill about Goto's flagrant ignoring of his orders.
Because his replacement is working out so well.
Except that he's dead. Face down in a cake. He made it to the last cake, though, which is real impressive.
9 out of 10 cakes
Pretty good.
before he died. Yeah.
Pretty good.
This is just our headcanon for this, that this man is... I thought he was just taking an old-fashioned cake nap.
Unless we see him again, I'm going to assume that was his final moment.
It's called an on-screen death. Sometimes
Yeah.
it happens.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I just thought he was just like, ooh, job well done, eating all that cake. You know what else about cake is the thing? It's real comfy. Kugami is like, oh, he did a pretty good job, regardless of whether or not he's dead, or just taking a cake nap. But Satanaka, she's really a champ at eating cake. And then we throw to Satanaka for useless, non-existent reasons for 14 seconds. If we all remember, Satanaka is on vacay, and where she has decided to go on vacation is the fabulous Couscousier.
Well, they serve chili.
And she gets to gripe about how much cake she has to eat for her day job.
And more importantly, we get to see casual Satanaka, which is great.
Big fan.
She's wearing a t-shirt. She's looking real chill. So good.
And she's chatting with the owner of the Couscousier. And are we to believe that everybody in this world knows each other? Like,
No, not at all.
So Satanaka just happened to walk in on her vacation, in which she did not leave town. Just decided to walk into the one restaurant where all of our other lead characters hang out.
Yes.
But no, because I think given that Ankh and Eiji are under like heavy surveillance by Kogami, Satanaka probably knows where they work and maybe has seen the menu and maybe he's like, I wouldn't mind going there if I had some fucking time off.
Those prices are very reasonable. Yeah.
The menu changes every 10 minutes. By the way, if you're keeping track, this week it is a Wild West theme.
Ever so briefly.
Finally, Kogami's given Goto some useful feedback, saying your pride is in the way of your dreams.
Yeah, you need to let your desire overwhelm your pride. Goto's like,
This could have used this is pretty true after it.
So many applications.
Speaking of applique, which we weren't, fabric. Colored fabric that the Greed are apparently now just like tossing down in front of themselves or something.
It's like rolling out the red carpet for yourself, but that would
Yeah.
only apply to Ankh.
You know what? I'm gonna splurge and get myself some like nice silky, like, I don't know, purple fabric and just like roll it out in front of me whenever I get to work. See if that establishes my dominance.
You think the Greed are competing? They're just like, this is my territory.
I'll take that over them whizzing everywhere, I guess.
Oh yeah, hells yeah.
Yeah, that's a much better. I got to teach my dog how to throw fabric. We're at the Peach Pit. We're at where all the monsters hang out and gab, mostly about metals, and this is no exception. And Mazul is like, "Hey, fam, everybody, chill out. We're gonna have all the metals we need real soon." And then he breaks the metal in half and makes some garbage yummies.
Uwe and his trash yummies.
Ankh is having his tree nap or hanging out, but then gets noticed by some many-clawed woman who wants to do surgery on him. Right. He noticed because Corgi Lady is running past, because Surgery Lady wants to do surgery on either the woman or the Corgi.
Whoever, it just doesn't matter. She is single and ready to suture. She is just out there.
And Ankh's like, I could take you.
Nope. Also, I'm not sure what kind of surgery she's going to do by just apparently stabbing him, but she says she's pretty confident.
I think she wants to do surgery in a Dr. Giggles kind of way of doing surgery. Like I don't think she's like, hey, your Corgi has a deviated septum. Let me get in there real quick. Also, now I feel slightly more justified in asking about the woman with the Corgi. Why is she still anywhere in this area? If a disembodied hand attacked my dog, I would run as fast as my fat little feet could carry me, dive headfirst into a taxi or an Uber or whatever the fuck, and I would be 3 states over.
Well, I mean, maybe it hasn't been that long. Maybe she was on the way, and then she bumped into Scalpel Lady coming in the other direction. She's like, I can't catch a break today. It's either disembodied arms or Scalpel Ladies.
Ain't it always the way, though?
I am never coming back to this park.
So, there's a little fighting, and Ankh doesn't do great. Ankh's hand eyes are bigger than his arm stomach when it comes to fighting.
He's not so good at hand-to-hand combat.
Fart noise.
Anyways, he gets saved by a hawk can.
Yay!
Of all the indignities.
Well, he's a hawk guy, kinda.
He is?
Kinda. He's
like
bird
a bird
themed.
guy. He's
He's
guy.
bird themed.
Of
This
some
is pretty.
sort.
This is pretty true.
That's valid later.
Yeah, it's pretty true. And then AG shows up, and then there's some core metals get thrown around, and it's time for some good old fashioned fighting.
Wait, first there's a bad apology, where AG like tries to apologize and headbutts Ankh instead.
And then he begs Ankh to go back and cure Detective with his magic arm powers.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ankh like retreats off the corner of the screen, like the whole screen. He's just like, whoop.
Oh yeah, and Ankh found himself thinking to himself while enjoying his tree nap, like, oh, you know what? Maybe it wasn't great of me to get rid of that body in the first place.
It's more like, where am I going to find someone severely damaged?
Has he tried the entertainment industry?
Mm-hmm.
For example, take that. Speaking of crashing the fourth wall, hey, there's some fighting. There's some tattoo buying. There's some henshinning. There's some kicking and punching. We're doing it.
There's a sexy cat.
It's not sexy. That cat's not sexy.
I mean, I guess like it's Eye of the Beholder.
Back at the hospital, Hina's interfering with her brother again and has started to manhandle him and grab his hand.
Something all doctors recommend.
And like we all wish, the coma brother twitches finger, which she then, I don't know, crushes in her mighty Hulk grasp.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then he sits up and it's got the Ankh arm on him again, and he's great. And he says, Don't squish me with your super powerful strength.
So she just pushes him off the bed instead.
There, fixed, all better.
And then apologizes to the brother half.
Yes. Back to some fighting. He puts on his nicest cheetah feet and kicks the kitty in about the face and stomach until the doctor pops. He just kicks that doctor right out of Sexy Cat.
Yeah, Ankh told him that this was the same kind of parasite as the fat cat.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why he did the kick dig, because,
Yes.
worked last time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work when the body sizes are so similar.
It did. What did you just see, Corey?
I saw him pull a human-sized lady out of a human-sized cat lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, we have to assume that the laws of like temporal physics and stuff, like the inside of Sexy Cat Lady is a bit of a tesseract.
Yeah, a pocket dimension.
It's not like you stepping in and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. The head is definitely in a show rife with weird imagery. Watching him kick Kitty in the tummy and then seeing the doctor's face sort of poke through the tummy.
Yep.
It's weird. It's weird, and
It is weird.
I won't sleep tonight, probably.
And she doesn't even have time to sit around because she has to go to hospital because Dr. Heart Attack
Has had a heart attack. She's worked up about it. You know who's not worked up? The doctors. About Detective being fine now. Because Hina's trying to give them an explanation. They're like, whatever. We don't care anymore.
They're busy with Dr. Heart Attack in the same room.
We can only deal with one patient in this hospital.
That's why there was such a big crowd last week. That's why there were so many people stacking up.
They can only let one in
one. It's a very exclusive hospital. We can only do one surgery at a time.
Wow.
Not only do the doctors not give a shit about the fact that this basically on death's door meat sack cake napping motherfucker just sat up and went, "How do you do?" Also has a completely different haircut and style.
And a weird arm.
And a weird arm, a weird reptilian arm. And Hina's just like, yeah, no, he's got a condition and he's fine now.
I didn't mention it earlier because I didn't think it was relevant.
Yeah, not relevant that my brother occasionally all but dies and then comes back to life with a different voice, a different haircut, and a lizard arm. We will take our leave of you now. Thank you very much. 5-star Yelp review.
He's a Time Lord. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Very fast regeneration.
Totally canon.
There's a lot of Time Lord stuff going on in this episode. There's a TARDIS cat. There's everything.
Which brings us to Wink the Doctor. Our doctor I did it. Our doctor shows up at the hospital and we find out that the director is also her pa.
What?
But please, call me director. I know I'm dying right now, but call me director.
We're in the hospital. Don't show emotion.
What a hard ass.
It's like, I didn't stop you from doing any and all surgeries, even though you're our star surgeon, because of spite. I did it because you got a big fat head when people said you did a good job, and we can't have doctors like that.
I was very surprised that
Terrible.
this is the exact subtitle. I thought that was very strange. You gotta. Why is he Sling Blade, Corey?
I don't know how to do man voices.
I don't know.
I tried.
I don't know, Corey. That's pretty right. What do you think, Adam?
Oh, sounds good to me.
This is what guys sound like. We'll be right back on what guys sound like after this. How was that sporting event? Back to the fighting, back to Kamen Rider and Kitty Gal punching, and then Kazari shows up, and then it's not looking good.
I would like to take this point to note that the cat Yummy fairly consistently is making cat noises during this fight, and it's really
She's meowing.
She's just going
Yeah.
meow.
Yeah.
Meow.
It's great.
Do we think the people who make this show hate cats? Because this is our second cat monster. And I feel like it's kind of hard to screw up making a cute big fat cat. And then also I have undisclosed opinions about latex kitty women. Both of them are absolutely disgusting. And I feel like we're wandering into anti-cat territory here.
They're not supposed to be like they're grotesque, human desire. They're not supposed to look nice.
We can't all be smooth-skinned shark boys.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yummy shark do 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 do.
No.
I didn't do it when it was relevant because I hadn't experienced the shark song, but now I have, and I feel like there was something missing from the podcast.
Anyways, Kazari's in the fight, interfering, cat fight. In Doctor Land, Dr. Heart Attack is like, you, my daughter, do the surgery. And other doctors are like, but there's rules about people doing surgery on family members. And they're like, dogs can play basketball. And just
she's
ignore
like,
it.
no, I can't do it. I'm too scared. I might hurt you. And he's like, that's what I wanted. I wanted you to be scared. Now you're a good doctor.
Poof. Alakazam.
Because I know what I want is a surgeon who's terrified that they're going to kill me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's what I look for. If they seem too confident, I'm like, no.
I feel like I can see both sides of this. I don't know if Dr. Heart Attack Dad's methodology was the absolute best to basically banish his daughter from doing surgery until she became a monster, and then he himself had a heart attack. But I feel like I want a doctor that is somewhere between being uber super confident, like, you know what, just for today, I'm going to do this with my eyes closed while drinking a delicious tall boy of Pabst Blue Ribbon, glub, 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 glub. And a doctor who's like, I don't, what, whoa, blood, like somewhere between there, I think is the doctor I am looking for.
I feel like there's a series of checks and balances in like the medical profession to prevent both those types of doctors from operating on anybody.
Yeah.
So what I want is a charismatic front man to explain things to me. I don't care if a meat popsicle does my surgery. It can be a soulless, uncaring machine as long as it does it right.
So you want to Patch Adams?
No. No.
Dead
Sorry, I just had a
silence.
massive flashback to Patch Adams and I'm back now.
Are you okay? How are you doing?
Oh my God. He put
How was it?
He put like an enema bulb on his nose and he was like, honk, honk, I'm the wacky doctor. And
cancer children love me.
I want that as a bumper sticker.
Oh.
Do you?
Kinda.
I feel like you might get run off the road a lot.
It doesn't matter. I don't drive. I'll just stick it on the next lift I take. Hey, you got something on your bumper here. Thunk. All right, off to the pub. Boy, everyone's real mad today. Weird. So she can do the surgery on her father, just like every daughter wishes.
Meanwhile, Kazari's living his dream by getting the 2 core medals that are in Oz's belt into his meaty fist.
Yep.
He only needs 2 more to complete the full set.
This isn't even his final form.
Yeah.
What happens when they get all of their... Do they actually turn into an even monsterier monster?
I don't know.
Josh, let me ask you a question. Would you like me to just tell you what happens for the rest of the whole show?
Yeah, 100%.
I could just do that. I could just spoil the whole thing. Is that what you want, Josh?
God, that sounds fucking great.
I mean, we did spoil us for him.
Yeah, I can get you back.
I don't know. Okay. Fine. Look, Jesus, Tom. I was just speculating on a hypothesis.
That's not speculation, then you're asking questions. Were they rhetorical, Josh?
Were they rhetorical? Anyway,
well, I feel completely mollified.
how rhetorical was it? And then, he's got his core medals, and 2 more, something undisclosed, and probably fucking amazing will happen.
Then Ankh rolls up on a motorcycle and is like, how did you lose 2 medals? And Angie's like, well, you were here. And then Ankh's like, well, take these ones. Just replace the ones you lost.
Also, I don't know if this is the subtitle just not subbing super well, but if that's not the case, then AG asked the stupidest question imaginable, which is something along the lines of like, hey, did it work out okay? And it's like,
Right.
yes, bro.
Like, I'm not a
Yes.
disembodied arm. I've got a body. Like,
Obviously,
Come on.
I saved Dead Detective. Whose body is this?
Yeah,
No one else could fit these pants.
I certainly couldn't.
No, I couldn't.
Not I.
I guess we're out of the sisterhood. 5, 6,
They
7,
weren't
8.
traveling leather pants, Josh. That would have been ridiculous.
That's the sequel. That's the reboot. That's the gritty reboot.
Oh, God.
Ew.
And I say that because
Okay, wait,
Gritty's
sorry.
in
I'm
it.
just doing some dream casting in my head.
Sega?
Is gritty in it, because otherwise it's not a gritty reboot.
Yeah, no, it's gritty in leather pants.
Oh, he cannot fit those pants.
He can. That's because they're magical pants.
God, they are.
Here's 2 more core medals, says Ankh, because I just got a bunch with me at all times. We're good.
It's lucky he can still Tatoba. Like, what if they'd been out?
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, okay. Maybe this is not a spoiler question. I'm genuinely curious. Let's say that AG just bites it. Let's say that he just gets murdered. Does Ankh then take that belt off of him and go slap it on some other meat popsicle? Or would Ankh attach himself to AG and then be both a Greed and a Common Rider?
Oh, I bet he would do that. That would make more sense. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm trading up."
That would augur poorly for everyone, I feel like. That's maybe
sure.
That's too much power for Ankh. Last question. Would he allow his spectacular hair to come out through his helmet? I feel like that's an important part of Ankh's deal.
Absolutely not.
How do you feel about people in outfits fighting? Because we got more of it.
What I like during this specific fight is that AG is awkwardly feeding metals into his sword while fighting, because he's gotta fill up the slot so that the sword works.
Yep.
But he's also got to fight at the same time.
He's gotta fight 2 cats while he's filling up his sword.
It's a bad design problem. It's not great. I love and I'm picturing like war movies or whatever, but all of the guns are coin operated. Like, hang on, cover for me. God damn it, somebody run back and get a shitload of times.
No one is allowed to start the war with their guns loaded, okay?
Yep.
Don't worry, y'all. He gets all of the coins in there and then does my favorite thing with his big sword, which is not only like slice through bad guys, but also slice through the show itself.
Yes.
Always real enjoyable to see that sword can actually unhinge and tear the fabric of time.
True.
While this is happening, a couple of trash Emmys show up, and Ankh's like, "Finally, I get to beat something up. I'm going to take all my frustrations out on you." Which makes me think that Ankh's kind of like a dog that hasn't gotten walkies, and that's really all he needed was the opportunity to beat somebody up, and he would have been a lot less crabby.
Yes, it's I forget where I read it, but it's chew toy energy. But it's just for him, it's just punching energy. I wonder if that's why the Corgi was attracted to him in the first place, like game recognized game.
But unfortunately for him, Goto also needs to go walkies, and he shows up, and he's like, "Hey, finally something I can kill with my gun."
Yay!
14 episodes in, and he blows the crap out of the yummies, and also shoots at O's for no apparent reason.
You know, I watched I watched the episode like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, I must be misseeing this, because what it looks like is he shoots Kamen Rider directly in the fucking chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I guess that's just how he says sup.
He's like, "Hi."
I think it's like how he says, "You don't tell me what to do. My pride's not in the way. What am I without my pride?"
Shut up. You're not my real dad.
You know, he so rarely actually gets to shoot his gun in a productive way that maybe he's just
I know.
a little out of practice.
Maybe he's like, "Well, if that worked, maybe I can kill O's too."
He needs to go back to when he was doing target practice. What was he doing? Shooting at cans?
Poles.
Little pole. Yeah, poles.
Yeah.
Little poles.
And they exploded a lot.
He's got to work. He's got to work on that. He's got to work on not be more friendly, be less friendly fire. That's a little tip from me to you, Goto.
He also refuses to let go of his pride.
Oh, I thought he was having that flashback because he was like, "Oh, I am learning a lesson, and I am going to come here and help the situation as opposed to make it worse, except for the part where I shoot the lead of the show in the fucking chest.
Well, and literally says, "No, I can't let go of my pride,"
Well,
before doing it.
that too, but like I thought that was just him sort of wrestling internally before doing the right thing. I feel like
who can tell with that dude?
He's just a butt. That's the thing. He's a butt.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like every week now he's going to be like, man, you know what? I've reached a crossroads and maybe I need to be less of a butt. And then the next week he's like, nah, I love shooting. I love shooting and pride.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in this high-stakes exchange, Dr. Surgery is getting ready for surgery on Dr. Heart Attack by scrubbing her hands and thinking about how much she doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
That's what makes you a good doctor. Not wanting your patients to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ari's tired of this shit, and he's just gonna go. They're like, I got most of my medals. I'll see you later.
How about a little Three Stooges interplay between our buddy the arm and our buddy the underpants hobo? Because that's what we get. We get some woo 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 and some yoink and some lay. And but
That's entirely what we get.
Basically like, hey, Onk, don't leave that body alone again. It's like, I'll leave that body alone again. Wah-ha.
Young, young, young.
They walk off into the sunset.
I'm gonna pull your hair.
Which is how I can confirm that the detective can wear Onk's clothing, because detective is wearing Onk's clothing, which means that when he was in surgery, he was actually wearing different clothing. So he has gotten changed before coming out here.
No, when
which is nice.
when Onk sat up in the hospital bed, he was already fully clothed in Onk clothes.
You see, my brother has a condition. The condition is
manifest clothing.
Yeah, he almost dies and is comatose, and then sits up a completely almost different person with different hair. Oh, and also his clothes. Yeah. Whatever. Move it along. Is he fine? All right, get your hand stamped on the way out in case you need to come back.
This is absolutely not interesting. Go away.
Hey, everyone's okay. Dr. Heart Attack is now just Dr. Heart because he's all heart.
And Dr. Knives is just Dr. No Knives.
Yeah.
And she's finally getting the praise that she thought she wanted. But now she doesn't want it. Now she's like, no, I still have so much to learn. And the other three doctors are like, what? Because they'll turn and look at her simultaneously like they can't believe what's happening.
Meanwhile, somewhere else land, a man is getting arrested for fraud.
Well, what does that have to do with anything, Corey?
Well, you see, Mazul has been away, which they've been talking about in Greed headquarters, but we don't know why. And so this very greedy man, it appears to be, has been arrested. Well, in his front yard, just lying on top of some decorative rocks, is some plastic sack and spider web cotton.
Yeah. And you know what? They're real drippy, y'all.
Yep.
We gotta get some Downy or something. We gotta quicker pick her up that.
And we're like, what could that possibly mean? But back in Greed headquarters, there's some handfish. They're back, everyone.
Yay!
Handfish.
Miss them so much.
It's so great.
And then they turn into medals, and everybody gets medals.
Yay!
And they're like, this only worked because we used those trash yummies to distract Oz. And I'm like, Oz was pretty distracted, regardless of the trash gummies. I don't know if that really helped at all.
Yeah, the trash yummies distracted Ankh, I guess, but he wasn't doing anything.
I think Uva just like really wants like to believe that the trash yummies are a good idea.
It's all he can do now.
It is.
Just crush cell metals.
Yeah.
Like, bust apart small change coins.
Who haven't we seen this episode?
I know.
Who has not made an appearance?
I know. It's the photographer who really loves money. Money photographer and his shrew wife. And
that doesn't sound familiar at all.
And they love
talking about.
What? That was
no.
Literally like 4 episodes ago. Who haven't we seen? Oh, we haven't seen that. We haven't
Dr.
seen
Mackey.
We haven't seen that big guy who loves chicken.
No, it's Dr. Mackey.
It's definitely Dr. Mackey
Okay.
with his doll that he is currently cuddling in a chair.
Yeah, and he's got some cool stuff on his computer monitor.
And then it switches to a big red core medal, and I guess it was like in the oven and it's done. He's like a very
Yeah.
fancy, like a tasty bake. What's happening here, guys? I watched that scene 18 times and I did not.
What's happening here is that Mackie has one of Ank's core medals, the peafowl medal, which is why it made that peacock cry. Wah, 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 at the end, just like a peacock would.
But
Oh.
a quick question, Corey. What would a male peacock sound like?
That's what a peacock sounds like.
It would sound like this. Whoa, whoa. That's the callback. Sure.
You've never seen a peacock, have you?
I have. They literally, we live around the corner from a giant cemetery where Toto and Mickey Rooney is buried, and it's lousy with peacocks.
The park near my home is peacocks, and wah, wah.
Rotten,
Yeah.
terrible birds. Awful birds. Mean.
Am I the only one who's not in like frequent proximity to peacocks?
Haha.
They used to have some at the mall.
Like, did they work at like a Spencer's?
No.
That's where
we have a giant mall that used to have animals in it, and then people decided it was cruel and they had to get rid of them. I assume they just shot them all.
Perfect. And now they're sold at the taxidermy store that mysteriously opened up the next day.
We had dolphins, and people got real upset about it, and one of them died. Maybe two of them died, and the
Aren't there
the
still
last one
seals?
got like
Don't they
released
still
into
have
the ocean.
trained
Or something.
seals?
Oh yeah, they still have seals.
There we go.
What
Seals don't
fakakta
care.
mall is this?
This is West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah, it used to be
It's
like the biggest mall in the
The
world.
fourth biggest mall in North America now, or something like that.
Yeah,
Mall of
because
America.
Mall of
killed
America kind of stole it.
USA! USA! And we don't kill
But also
animals
There's
at the mall.
Actually, it's got the largest indoor water park or something
Yeah,
like
and it's
that.
also got an amusement park. It used to have like 3 movie theaters, but now only has 1.
There's still a shooting range.
Yeah, there's a shooting range. There's at least 1 bowling alley.
How about,
There's a
There's
driving range
mini
on the roof.
golf.
what about big soft pretzels? Do they have big soft pretzels?
Oh, I'm sure they
have
must.
too many Cinnabons
No-
for
Yeah.
pretzels.
No such thing.
Ooh,
Now I
there's
want a
cotton
Cinnabon
candy.
pretzel. Blech.
Cotton candy.
I mean, no, I heard you the first. It's just not my.
You
it's
don't?
not my
Did you
jam.
say yuck?
Yeah, it's not my jam.
Because what?
I don't. Doesn't know.
I don't
It's just
understand.
sugar.
What about candy corn?
You know, I indulge around the October season. I'll have 1 or 2.
What? That's not enough.
How much? What's the proper serving? Maybe, it could be Canadian health
Like
standards are
30.
different.
Like about 30.
The medical board.
30 candy corns.
The
Yeah,
Medical
roughly 30.
Board of Canada recommends you have 30 candy corns a day.
I made shepherd's pie today, and I thought about what would happen if I put candy corn in it,
Oh,
and then I didn't.
It would be disgusting. It would be.
It would be
absolute-
horrible. But
Yeah,
I
it'd be-
thought
I have to
about
say
it a
that
little.
candy corn is not currently seasonal unless you're talking about the Easter variety
Oh,
or
okay.
leftover Christmas candy corn.
So there's a candy company with like the stripy candy man on it. Can't remember what the name of the company is, but they do all sorts of different kinds of candy in like little bags for like $1.50 or so, and they have candy corn all year round. So at my local grocery store, I just keep buying it to see if they'll replenish it, and they did, and I was excited. So that means I can get it all year round as long as I just keep buying it so that it's financially viable for them to keep getting it in.
Yay, capitalism.
This has been True Stories with Adam Wasserman.
This is my life. Thank you.
Tune in next week when we hear about that time Adam used a coupon that had expired, but he used it anyway. I guess I kind of gave it away, but that's not for that's not for now us. That's for then us.
One time I almost got
Spoilers.
free bacon.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
hey,
Wow.
all right.
Okay.
Let's save that for next week.
Save it for later. Yeah. Jeez. I'm Coriander Dickinson. You can find me on Twitter at Apsalar.
Oh,
I'm Josh Kagan, and you can find me at Josh A. Kagan at Instagram.com.
I'm Adam Wasserman. You can find me on Twitter at Gold Sarcasmium.
Goodbye.
We did it.
Ciao.